The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
He's Dr. Josh Klapow. He is a clinical psychologist. I'm Tony Kurre. We've been working together for, 6-7 years now?
I was going to say it's like 20.
You used to come on Jocks for 15 minutes, and then you stayed
People
for
still
like half an hour.
People still think I'm...
I know, they still think you're on Jocks. And then Jock said, well, you can keep coming on, but you need to pay us to be on.
Right.
And you did.
Y'all helped me.
You
That was a weird...
You found it on your own. Lifetime and Express Ultras, right?
That was a weird day.
You did it.
You, Jay, and Al. I felt like some strange entourage.
Yeah. All right, so this Dylan Mulvaney thing.
Where have I been?
I don't know. Even I knew about this. So she is a transgender individual. She's an influencer and activist. I guess she was used to be an actress, or she still is an actress.
She was also she was in the musical The Book of Mormon.
There you go.
Which is, I mean, this is not. So let me just say this. She's not just an influencer that sort of came out of obscurity.
Yeah.
She is a legitimate actress on a Broadway, or was on a Broadway musical, The Book of Mormon, which is a huge show.
So she recently celebrated her 365th day as being a woman, as formerly a man, and as a celebratory olive branch, if you will. Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, sent her a can of Bud Light with her picture on it. It wasn't something that was marketed. It's not in stores.
I was going to say, and she had no other relationship with Budweiser?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, Bud drinkers, people that endorse Budweiser, people that have Budweiser.
Interesting thing.
The Kid Rock's the world's...
Travis Tritt.
Travis Tritt went off on Budweiser. Joe Rogan was drinking a Bud Light during his podcast yesterday.
Wait, Joe Rogan was drinking it in support of?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I saw him with a can in his hand.
Okay, and Howard Stern went off on Kid Rock.
He may be, yeah, there may be some mocking going on here.
Oh, God. Okay,
but
here we go.
We vote with our feet, and at least one report has come out that Anheuser-Busch has lost $4 billion of...
What?
They've lost $4 billion of their stock price since they sent this can to her.
That's a...
Yeah, and so now this other influencer has come out to promote the Burn Bra Challenge, which was launched on TikTok. It's 1.4 million strong. A self-described Southern mama says she was sick and tired of Nike pushing us around before burning her sports bra and encouraging others to join in the challenge. Nike also has a deal with Dylan Mulvaney. All you real women out there, we're in a fight for of all fights. The woman who goes on by TikTok handles chatterbox.mama said that more than 140,000 followers on Tuesday had grown to 1.4 million. Since the 1960s, we've been fighting for the right to be women. Nike, you should be ashamed of yourself. You chose a little boy with no breast and some junk in his pants to represent real women.
Oh, jeez.
Nike, I'm done with you. I will never, ever buy a Nike product for as long as I live, and there are millions and millions and millions of women just like me and feel the same way.
Because Dylan has a deal with Nike.
Has an endorsement deal with Nike and Nike bras.
And Nike bras. And so this woman is saying because you did that for a transgender woman...
You're hurting other women who have real breasts.
Oh, jeez.
That have been wearing your
real breasts. Now, I love that. Real breasts. Hang on. Real breasts? Breast implants?
Does Dylan Mulvaney, does she have real breasts?
If she's had complete...
I mean, she has breasts, but I mean, they're...
Yeah. Wait, hang on.
I've got breasts, too.
No. Hang on. If we're going to go there, how many women have breast implants that are not their real breasts?
Yeah, but they had breasts before. For the most part.
Men have breasts?
We can talk skeeter bites and stuff, but I don't think
so. No, men have breasts too.
Yeah, I know.
This is very hypocritical.
She challenged other women to burn your Nike bra as a way of showing our solidarity and how serious we are that we be recognized. We're the queens. Your consumers hit you where it hurts, and that's right in your pocket. I challenge every woman that is sick of this nonsense. It's a great night to burn my Nike bras. Also, who's the blonde woman who was on Fox 6? It's got her own thing now. What's her name?
On Fox 6?
No, not Fox 6. She was on Fox News.
Megan.
She
Which way did she go?
Oh man, she hates it. She came out and she's like, this is nonsense, this is crazy, this is bull. Why are we doing this? Why are we celebrating this? Why are we giving this woman any airtime at all? Yeah, I was surprised you didn't know about this. Just the hashtags is fantastic, by the way. Protect women's sports, women supporting women, boycott Nike, hashtag women's rights, hashtag challenge, hashtag Nike. It goes on and on and on.
Well, at least we, you know what? At least we've gone past. At least now we're not worried about. We've moved past homophobia, right? We've moved on to the next one.
So my question to you,
Yes.
and now I'm realizing the answer here because I did some research. You know, I love to do show prep.
I know you do.
So why would Anheuser-Busch?
Yeah, I think this is interesting.
Why would they feel the need to be associated with a transgender anything, or with Black Lives Matter, or with the LGBTQ community, or the Republicans, or the Democrats, or anything? I had a really good conversation with Michael Coleman, who I just mentioned, at the Montgomery Area Food Bank. We're going to be doing a show with them about how he handles the social pressures as our culture changes, and politics, because politics are important to non-for-profits.
Absolutely.
They are well entrenched in Montgomery, where a lot of politicians are. It's important that they have an open relationship with them and engagement with them to get things moving so they can continue to work with Feeding America and he brought up a really interesting point, because when the whole Black Lives Matter movement started several years ago, several of his employees said, what are we going to do about this? And he said, what do you mean? And they're like, well, are we going to support this? Are we going to put something on our website? I hear this all the time. Yeah. I think it's an important movement. And he said, you know, we're bigger than Black Lives Matter. We feed a need. We're a non-for-profit. That's a little different because it's a non-for-profit.
Right.
We don't get involved in those types of things. Not to say that. And the problem is this. The problem now is this. If you don't have a sign supporting Black Lives Matter or the LGBT community or transgender or any of these relatively new cultural moves, then it looks like you don't support them. And he said that's not true. It's just that we are here to feed Americans, all Americans.
Yep.
Black, white, transgender, gay, straight, whatever. We don't say, are you straight? Well, we can't feed you. We don't do that. We're here to feed everyone. So there's no reason for us to even cross into that because it doesn't matter. Now, so I will ask you the question, and I have the answer for you.
Okay. That's good.
Why would Anheuser-Busch or why would Nike feel the need to have an endorsement for a person born as a man who is now a woman that obviously does not have the same breast makeup as a female does, unless of course he's getting augmentation.
Right.
I guess Jenner did it. Did he?
I don't know if he's fully completed it, but yeah, I mean,
it looks like he's got breast.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes in stages. The surgeries happen in stages.
So we were growing up, and remember the "Don't ask, don't tell." We don't want to know. We don't want to know. You do you. That was just do your job. I don't care who you are, what you are, what you look like.
That was Bill's way of like,
and it worked.
Only Bill Clinton can make shit like that work.
I know that we have 100 people in here, and that makes 10% of you gay. But I don't want to know about it. Just go out there, grab your rifle, and get in the mud and do your thing. I don't want to know. Just do your job. So we wouldn't talk about what three things?
Sex, drugs. Politics, religion, and sex.
We don't talk about those things now. You walk into an interview. Okay, what's your thoughts on religion, politics, and sex?
Right.
And they don't have to because they can go on your social media posts and see exactly what you're all about. So I'm depending on what you're trying to apply for, or what you're standing for, or what you're speaking about. Those things don't need to be replicated in any shape or form on a soapbox, unless, of course, it's part of the platform that you're actually pushing. So why would Anheuser-Busch feel the need, knowing Because
Yeah.
Bud Light is the redneck beer.
I was going to say,
Bud
that's what I
Light
think
kills Miller Lite down here.
Nike's,
They've been a supporter
yeah.
of my radio station for years.
Nike's different to me a little bit because of the transgender athletes, etc. I'm having an easier time making a social rationale for Nike.
Mm-hmm.
Budweiser is really interesting. Of all the brands, I wouldn't have thought Budweiser would do anything along these lines. Either way.
Yeah.
But they did.
So there's this feeling now that regardless of what business you're in, we must be inclusive to all.
Yeah.
Which is what we've tried to do.
For a
long
that's
period
what
of
we
time.
said
We've
tried to
tried to do.
We said.
And in some cases, it's a law that you must be inclusive. We used to have a certain percentage of African Americans working at radio stations because it was run by the government.
But we've changed the term, right? We used to talk about diversity and equity, and now we call it diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah. And part of the reason that we do that is and I don't know if it's controversial. It is more than your race and ethnicity. Inclusivity is not just you're here because of the way you look, or you get to be here because of the way you look. It is you are here and you are fully included as much as anybody on the same merits. And it's where organizations have a hell of a time because they can check boxes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even do it. We have this many of this ethnicity, this many of this race. We have this many straight, this many gay, this many trans. That is diversity. That's not necessarily equity and inclusivity. And that's a huge problem because we'll get the people in, but they're not treated the same way.
So there's this thing called a CEI score. You ever heard of it?
No.
It's called the Corporate Equality Index.
Oh, yes, I have. Yes, I have.
So we're finding out that a lot of these big companies that are publicly held are having to comply with brand new progressive policies that are being pushed by the world's biggest asset fund managers, like Vanguard. Vanguard is a company that owns a piece of every Fortune 500 company on the face of this.
Capitalism.
They own a piece of all of it.
And they get to say what they want because they own it. This is walking naked in Lynn Park. Yes. It is no different. You cannot have your capitalism and say, it's capitalism, but we don't want that.
Yes. So despite the fact they know they're going to take a hit, this is our policy, and it's important that we have this CEI in place, and you will do that. And that's why a lot of people are saying that a lot of these big corporations are making these endorsement deals with these influencers that have cultural differences.
Which is really sad if that's the reason, right? Because there is a difference between.
It makes sense though.
No, it does. It's saying
wrong, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's a very transactional approach. What was it during I can't remember during what sporting event when you saw the car commercials? Was it Buick or GMC in support of women athletes?
Yeah.
Right, and you'd see these commercials, and it was like all this great stuff that women athletes have done, and then it says, Buick, and you're like, what the fuck? Like what?
By the way, Buick commercials only have women in them now.
Do they really?
And when there's men in them, they're sitting in the passenger seat. Just look at all your Buick. It's always 4 women sitting in a Buick.
I come from a Buick
Oh,
family.
that spinning class was horrible. I bet. I used to hate parallel parking. Me too. I'm like.
And the man sitting in the backseat.
They said it ain't your daddy's Buick anymore. It's not.
No. So okay. So do we have a problem with this?
So
clearly some people.
Well, let me ask you this: if you say Josh Klapow had Klapow Enterprises, and you had 500 employees, and you built widgets, why would you feel the need? It's not to say your hiring practices are different. It doesn't mean you want gay people, even transgender people working for you. It doesn't mean you're all inclusive. You have no problems with HR. Why would you feel the need?
It's an interesting topic.
Why would you feel the need to have to be inclusive to, let's be really, really honest here. Transgender people are just a little tiny piece of who lives in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's getting to be a bigger number, not because more people are like, I want to be transgender. Yes, I'd like
No,
to be.
it's
I want to be
because
ridiculed and criticized for the rest of my
Right,
life.
it's the
I'd love to
same
be.
thing. It's because they're coming out of the closet.
People feel more comfortable
Yes,
because
absolutely.
other people are doing it. Okay, but it goes for LGBTQ. It goes for any. I say minority only in that I'm talking number minority. We're talking about
Absolutely.
3, 4,
Well,
5%.
look.
Why do we feel the need to be inclusive to that, knowing we're going to get the backlash from not only the people from a moralistic standpoint don't think it's right, but the right-siders and the people are like, this is blasphemy. Did you see Victoria Jackson at Senate yesterday?
No.
Saying God hates sodomy. She just hammered homosexuals yesterday. I'm going, this is the same woman I was going to go have a cup of coffee with.
That Victoria Jackson.
She doesn't look like she did, by the way. I was like, what the hell? From Saturday Night Live, I'm like, you're an actress.
Yeah,
Everybody's gay. Everybody's part of the
What happened to
LGBT community.
her?
What is wrong with you? If you're in Saturday Night Live,
She's lost it.
oh man, she went off on it. It was crazy. So what would make you feel like you must cross that line? Because we are in a situation now where why do we have to support either side? Why can't we just be in business? Whether you're Coca-Cola, whether you're Anheuser-Busch,
Because
whether
I
you're
think
Nike, why can't we just serve the masses?
I think it has to do with.
It's not if you make a deal with a transgender person like Nike, it's not going to help your stocks because there ain't enough transgender people to push the numbers. Now, if you're hitting a group of, there's 60 million people now in this group that we need to start targeting because it's going to help our product numbers or going to help our, it's not. It's only going to hurt. You're only going to get those people.
Okay, so if I'm thinking as marketing, so there's a lot to unpack there. Let me go quickly. So first,
You're fine.
where it gets interesting is on the business side. At what?
And let's assume that we don't have asset managers telling you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So at what point is it important for you as a business, not from a hiring standpoint, not from a practice standpoint, but to make a public statement? We have this with Black Lives Matter. We have this. And the reason I say this is, I have a number of clients who sort of sit in my business clients sit in various sizes. Some of them are super small. Some of them are sort of mid-size and kind of becoming involved in and having a public impact, and some are absolutely huge. And the question becomes, and I had a client say this, is we are in this particular client, we are in the software business. We support this. Our hiring practices are consistent with Black Lives Matter, but for us to go make a public statement, and it's really interesting because I know this CEO, and what he said was, who cares about, not who cares about this thing, but about us.
Yes.
Nobody cares about us. And again, this same CEO wrote an internal memo to everybody in the organization stating what the culture of the organization is and the practice. But what he had some pressure from employees to put out a press release, and his comment was, we could, but that's not our business. Now that is different though, size of the company compared to a Fortune 500 company, compared to a Budweiser. I mean, Budweiser is, among other things, a part of our culture.
Yeah.
So when Budweiser or other companies of that size do or don't say things, it does make a statement simply because they are a part of the fabric of our culture. And in that case, from a purely cultural standpoint, you do have to make a decision. Are we going to stand by this? Or are we not? From a marketing standpoint, what's really interesting to answer your question about, this represents a very small percentage of the community, of the population. You're talking about, though, the individuals who are transgender. You're not including, if I'm marketing, I'm thinking, okay, them, their families, their friends, their supporters, their larger community of the LGBTQ community. So if you want to say from a marketing standpoint, when you're supporting somebody who is transgender, you're touching lots of people.
Yeah.
And so again, if I'm playing it on the pure marketing standpoint, it was when we were talking about with hummus.
Yeah.
And the guys are gay.
I just wonder how many businesses are actually supporting these causes but really don't give a damn.
Oh, lots of.
you know,
Well, this is where. Listen, this is not new. This is diversity.
Yeah.
This is back into diversity.
Like it's something we've got to do this.
Yep.
The movement's too big, and Black Lives Matter was a prime example of that because it took over this entire country, particularly
Well,
in the sports situation. The NBA, you could not. It was written on.
But think about it. But think about the NBA. I think this is such a classic
But the
example.
majority of the NBA is African American, so they were speaking to their. And that's my point. Budweiser's drinkers typically aren't transgender people. That's not your audience. That's not your customer. So why would you be willing to go to that point? And the only thing I can find is because of the CI situation where perhaps some of your ownership's like, this is something we're going to do. Again, they didn't come out with 12 packs of Dylan Mulvaney, although they might. But, you know, in another way, we always say that any publicity is good publicity.
Well, that's what you said. I mean, and it's tapping into, it's not, and that's what I said, if I'm a pure marketing mindset, I'm not, it's not just that I'm tapping into support of the transgender community. I am tapping into the LGBTQ community,
Yep.
which is, and by definition, the acronym LGBTQ plus is more than transgender. So if I'm just going numbers, just pure numbers, that's more people.
Yeah.
That's more people. And then let's go, again, go one step farther. What if I'm the parent of somebody who's a transgender?
Yep.
What if my best friend is transgender? Oh, look, that's fantastic. I don't drink Bud, but maybe I'll try a Bud because they're supportive of it.
Yeah.
Right, and then you get exactly the opposite, Kid Rock, right? Who's just losing his ever-loving mind. Then you get Howard Stern. I think it's fascinating. Howard Stern is hammering on Kid Rock for hammering on, but I mean, this is...
Yeah, 20 years ago, Howard Stern would have not a hammer
Right.
to Kid Rock. He's changed too. I mean, he's become, I hate using the word liberal, but he's become more compassionate. He's become more...
But, and what I said to you before the break, this is what's so amazing to me. Did Budweiser beer change their formula?
No.
Does it taste different?
No.
Because
No, and I'll throw it up to someone who's wanting to burn bras.
you
You're insecure. Who gives a damn? I mean, so a man who has no boobs is now wearing a Nike bra and he has an endorsement. Is it comfortable? Do you like the brand?
but this man who is transgender is not a man. This is the problem. This is the problem. This man is a woman. And this, in her particular case, has fully transitioned, meaning she has boobs that need a bra.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a you or I putting a bra on for some purpose, for no purpose. This is a woman who has breasts.
Does it change for people that are like, you're either born a man or a woman and that's what you are? Does it change for people out there to acknowledge the fact that if you've gone through the estrogen, testosterone, whatever
and the reassyment surgeries,
the reassignment surgeries, and because most of us think if you still have a penis, you can't be a woman.
Well,
Most people go, it's impossible. If you don't have a breast and a vagina, you can't be a woman. So, is there a point? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Is there a tipping point where, like, okay, tell me what you've done. I've got 10
Right,
things here.
yeah.
Okay, you like ferns. Okay, check. You like to
we
go
have
shopping. You
sports,
check.
right? We were testing the testosterone levels, right? You have done everything.
You've done enough. I now say you are a woman, even though you're born a man. Is there a tipping point? Because I think a lot of people think, and I think a lot of people do consider themselves now female, but they're not female yet.
Anatomically.
Bruce Jenner went through that. It took a long period of time.
We understand.
It's a process.
But we understand. This is, I say this, it's the best scenario, it's the best example that I can give. How do you know you're a man? Is it because you look down, I have a penis, and you say I'm a man? Is that the only reason that you know you're a man?
No.
How do you know?
Well, my birth certificate said I'm above the way.
Okay. But is your feeling consistent with that? Like
I couldn't tell you because I've never been a woman.
Right. Imagine if you were trapped in the wrong body. And this is the same thing. I mean, it's not the same.
About that.
This is the same thing. This is it is similar to being homosexual.
Yeah.
You know, I ask this all the time of people who just can't understand homosexuality. How do you know you're heterosexual?
Ask how many homosexuals were married before they became homosexual.
Right. Well, they didn't become. They didn't become, and that's the whole
before
point.
They realized.
They didn't. Almost every person who is gay did not realize later in life. Now, when they realized is typically when they realized, and this makes sense from a homosexuality standpoint. When did you realize you were heterosexual?
Yeah.
Well, when you started getting interested and having interest in the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. That's about the time that, so ages 10, 11, and 12 is when individuals who are homosexual realize that their sexual attraction is not the same as heterosexual.
Yeah.
But you don't realize it when you're 23.
And what's amazing, though, is from a cultural standpoint, you're a male. You're supposed to be attracted to females, or at least that's the way it's always been. Certainly from a biblical standpoint, and I'll go that route. But you are in a situation where the next thing you know, you're getting married, you're having children, and all of a sudden, at the age of 35, you're like,
because this is being closeted. This is.
I'm living.
Well, this is the great tragedy for so many people who are trans, who are gay, is they don't want to be.
I wonder what kind of bra Caitlyn Jenner wears.
I don't know. Nike? I don't know. Yeah, and the bra thing's interesting because think about how many women have implants.
Well,
those are not the implants are not real. Are not natural.
Yeah.
They are implants. What do you think when a male, I'm not a physician, when a male transitions, a biological male transitions and goes through transition to a female, what they're doing in addition to the estrogens, they're putting in breast implants.
Yeah.
You and I have breasts, we just have small breasts.
I'm thinking about doing it next month.
What?
Get breast implants so I can stay home. Kurre and Klapow show. We do it every single Thursday.
Do you think you just lost $4 billion, whatever, by all the stuff I said?
No, because no.
Okay.
I see.
You have a disclosure that was just me.
I'm purposely not reading the comments coming across Al Cooper up at Silicon.
Does it say Bull?
Coosa Valley Auto
Burke? What does it say?
Don't read.
It says Burke. What's Burke?
I have no idea.
Buick.
Oh, Buick. Yeah, Al Cooper's probably.
Oh, Buick.
Coosa Valley Auto Sales. He's probably got some Buicks on his lot.
Hey,
we'll send some females up there to Al and buy some Buicks today.
I drove Buicks.
I know.
I came from a Buick family. My grandfather and father sold Buicks.
My dad drove a Buick, but he only drove a Buick because it was a big car. My dad always get big cars. All right, so we're going to take a short break. There's one commercial that I keep saying that is really, really disrupting my life. It's really uncomfortable. The first time I saw it, I was like, whoa. And it's really bothering me now.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I've seen it like 65 times.
Well, you can share.
It's all over the History Channel. I want to share it with you next. And then don't forget we're on Fox 6 this morning at 9:35. What time is it?
I have no idea. It's making me nervous.
All right. We'll be back in about 45 seconds.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.